Hey guys, Dave with Moneyology here. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. Today is July 14th, 2019, and this is the gold and silver precious metals sector review. Many of you follow my work in the uranium sector and have seen some of these reviews before, but some of you don't know that precious metals is the sector that I'm most bullish on. I've been bullish on it since 2016, since we broke the multi-year downtrend that started in 2011. And while we backtested that downtrend, we have now broken out unequivocally to the upside. And that was no surprise to any of you who have followed my work. But right now, what's great about the precious metal sector is we've broken out on daily, weekly, and monthly time frames. And this is a great opportunity during this consolidation that you'll see here momentarily to find opportunities for the long run. So far, what we've seen is some of the names that have been badly beaten and bruised have kind of bounced back. But now here's opportunity to find the names that will be successful in gold 1400 plus price range. So here's gold from a weekly perspective. Here's the cup and handle breakout that we saw. We skyrocketed from about 1280 all the way to a high of 1443. Now we're consolidating here in this bullish pennant formation, and I think it might be a couple of weeks still before we break out towards that 1440 level. And right now, the fact that we're consolidating above that 70 area is extremely important. That's where the highest and most important gains occur, when we're above that 6970 level of RSI. Now this is what I was talking about. In 2016, we broke out of this multi-year downtrend, and we went to a high of 1377. We consolidated. We back tested this breakout here with RSI not breaking down to new lows, and we broke out above that in 2017. We back tested that again, and here we are. So let's take a look at silver. Silver is, unlike gold, silver is still in the very early innings. It's finding strength. It's building support. Basically, we've got effectively a triple bottom in price, but momentum is building higher highs and higher lows. And right now, it's at the very tail end of this bullish wedge. Once we break higher, this is going to run towards 16, possibly 18, and 20. So there's a lot of upside. We're consolidating here above that 50 RSI level and above this momentum downtrend trend line. So this looks really good right now, and it's just setting up for a very nice continuation move very soon. And we look forward to the time when silver starts outperforming gold, and that's going to be your complete confirmation that the precious metals bull market is here to stay for the next at least couple of years. Here are the major gold miners as represented by the GDX. And again, we've been in this downtrend since 2016. We broke out of that in November of 2018, and now we back tested that in May of 2019. And since then, we've taken off, and right now we're back in this channel here, and so I can see a move towards that 28.50, 29 level before we find any real resistance. So there's still some really nice upside here while we consolidate the gains in the metal. Here are the gold juniors, and while they haven't performed as well as the majors yet, they're starting to find some really nice momentum. We broke above this neckline at 35 here, and now it doesn't look like we're going to be looking back. Look, notice here we're at 36, and momentum is much higher at 36 than when we were at 35 last time around, and 35 the time before that. So this is a price move that's led by momentum, and this is suggesting that GDX is going to probably make a run towards 44 to 45 before this particular run meets its short-term end. So a lot of upside still ahead for the junior miners, and a lot more upside, in our humble opinion, than the majors. Here's the silver juniors. So they haven't taken off at all. Obviously, they've had a really nice run since we pointed out this positive divergence at 677, where we had a lower low but a higher high in momentum, and when it coincided with multiple trend lines and support, that was a great entry point, and we've rallied, and now we're consolidating above the moving averages, and looks like we're about ready to take off. This, if you look from a longer term perspective, is a multi-year cup and handle here, bullish flag. And once we take off, I mean, this can run from 8.5 to about 19, 20. there's a lot of upside in the silver junior. So definitely want to look at the names, the best names from a fundamental perspective, and I'll hopefully point out some over the course of these videos in the coming weeks. So here are a couple of names that have stood out from my charting analysis. Eldorado Gold, we've been following this name ever since it really broke down and finally broke out of this downtrend, back tested successfully with positive divergence over here, and once we broke above the moving averages, we effectively took off. And I pointed out that this is going to be extremely bullish, breaking above this neckline, and sure enough, we haven't looked back. 4 straight weeks of hammer patterns. Next price target is 10. I could see this going as high as 12 to 16. This is very leveraged to the gold price, and at these levels of gold, there's significant upside ahead. SMF.TO, so this is both a precious metals play as well as a rare earth play. So there's a lot of upside here, and kind of a rounded bottom breakout above 4. We expected 5. That was our first target. Now we're consolidating in a bullish flag, and once this breaks above the neckline of about 520, the next move is towards that 750 area. So some very nice upside. Nova Gold is another one that finally broke above the neckline after years of consolidation between 3.5 and 4.5. Finally broke above that 4.5 level. Now it's flagging, and it looks like it's going to make a run towards that 720 area. Very nice consolidation above that 70 RSI is precisely what you want to see in an uptrend. Here's Detour Gold, and this one finally broke above its consolidation range between 9 and 14. Finally broke above it with positive divergence. As soon as we broke above the 70 area, boom, we took off, and this looks like it's going to make a retest of that 36 level. So there's some really nice upside here. Ivanhoe, this one is pulling back some, so use this as an opportunity to potentially add to your position or initiate a new long. Support at 3.63 to 3.8 is definitely going to be strong. I might not even get there, but if it continues to consolidate, great. If not, then it's on its way to 5, and once it breaks 5, I think we're going to see double digits in Ivanhoe. Alamos Gold AGI, another one that had a nasty breakdown and then basically broke back out above this downtrend, back tested successfully with extremely positive momentum divergence here, and now once we broke above the moving averages and out of this bullish wedge, the rest is history. Our first price target was around that 6 level. That's been met. The next price level is at 850. So there's some very nice upside momentum still in this name, and I could see this hitting a high of 10, if not more so, this calendar year. London Gold, another one that's had very noisy consolidation, but rounded bottom base. You got a bullish flag over here, and then we broke out above that. Now we're consolidating in another bullish flag above 680. This is going to reach new highs, new 52-week, and actually all-time highs in a sector that's been beaten down. This company has not been beating down, and you see the name London. These guys are some of the best in the industry, and when you have legends, they know how to mine. America Silver Corp, USA.TO, broke out of this downtrend here and in a rounded fashion, broke above the neckline at 260. Now we're consolidating right below the first price target at 325, and getting set to break above that. Notice momentum is very strong right now, and while we might pull back and consolidate here for a little bit, the next price target once we break out above 320 is towards that $4 area. So there's a lot of upside ahead in USA America Silver Corp. And gold, Anglo Gold Ashanti. This one looks like it still has upside in this move towards that 21, 20, 22 area, and it just looks great. I think 2250 is going to be the apex of this particular move, which would coincide with the 100% Fibonacci retracement. But it just looks good all around. Very strong performer. West Dome Gold Mines is another name that has a fantastic fundamental picture here. I'm just going to annotate real quickly here. So this is a beautiful rounded base pattern right here. This is one of the best formations. I just love these rounded base patterns over the course of several years. Notice that we had multiple lower highs in momentum, and we finally broke above that. Now we're consolidating above, right below 580, and looks like we're getting set to break to new highs. Once we break above that 70 level, that's when the most massive moves will occur here. Here's Sibanye, SBGL, another rounded bottom here, consolidating. Once we break above the 5 level, I think we're going to make a run towards 6, followed by 850. This one is very, very leveraged to gold and palladium, platinum, and so there's a lot of upside here in Sibanye, a name that's been beaten down over the years, but it's well set up for a long-term move. Pretium Resources is another one that broke out of its long-term downtrend since 2016, and now it's making a run towards that 13 area. So, and we just closed the week above that 69 level, and it looks like it's gonna run hard for the next foreseeable future. Marathon Gold Corp, another one here that broke above its downtrend here. Let's just extend that. And once we broke above that, back tested, and now we're making that run towards that 135 initial target. Once we break out above that, it's gonna make all-time highs, and so a lot of upside ahead. And looks like this is one of those names that I could see totally being bought out at maybe 40 to 75% of current prices. Here's Barrick Gold, one of the leaders. We broke out of a long-term cup and handle. Here's a long-term bullish flag. We broke out above that, and the 61.8 level of retracement is around the 17.5 level, followed by 100 at 23, and we're above the 70 level, so there's a lot of upside still in this name. Nova Gold. This has been great. We called this positive divergence, and once we broke out of this downtrend, once we back tested successfully with positive divergence, that's one of your best indicators, or at least certainly mine. And we broke out above this downtrend, and then boom, take off. And we pointed out that we expect to see this at $2, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to get there in the next couple of weeks. So some substantial upside for Nova Gold. Congrats to longs. Royal Gold, RGLD, breaking out to multi-year highs. And this one, I don't think it's going to be looking back. I mean, this is set up exceptionally well for the long run. ROX Gold, this one is on the verge of breaking out of its downtrend since 2016. Break above this level sends shares towards that 180 area. Newcrest Mining is another one that's consolidating here and getting set to break out to multi-year highs above that 23 level. Beautifully set up chart. Garibaldi Resources, another one that is on the verge of breaking out of a long-term downtrend, and looks to make once it breaks out of the 140 level, next price target is at 299, followed by 360, followed by 530. So a lot of upside ahead for Garibaldi. Superior Gold, this one broke out of the neckline of 65 and really hasn't looked back. The 13-week is about to cross the 26-week moving average, and this one looks like it really wants to run, possibly to retest the highs at that 162 level. Gold Source Mines, this one, it made a very nice run from a low of 3.5 to a high of 22.5. It's consolidated here a while, broke below both moving averages, and now it's finding support around that 12-cent zone. If it can just break back above that 50 RSI level, which it looks like it's on the verge of doing, then it can make a very nice run to retest these highs, and then ultimately break higher for a run towards that 57-cent zone. Spanish Mountain, this one has broken out of the downtrend, and this looks fantastic. I mean, I think the next real price target longer term is 22 cents, so there's some significant blue sky ahead here. And again, notice the positive divergence. We're at 61 right now, which coincides with price levels that have been much higher, and momentum was lower here than when we are here. So a lot of upside ahead in Spanish Mountain. Wallbridge Mining is another one that just has a great fundamental story behind it, a lot of insider buying, and now we're getting set to break out to new highs just as we cross that 70 barrier. So for the time being, we've got negative divergence, and that's something to keep an eye out for. If we pull back here, then this might want to turn back down. But I think it's on the verge of breaking back above that 70 level, and if it does so, I think it's going to head towards that $1 range. Here's Velocity Minerals. This is one that we really like. It's got this rounded bottom here with a bullish flag breakout, and now the next price target is that 50-cent zone, followed by highs much higher thereafter. This is definitely a buyout target. And Tudor Gold Corp, one we saw today on Twitter, and so we really like the chart here. Look at this beautiful rounded bottom over the last couple of years. Now we're breaking above that neckline, and the next price target is $1. So I mean, we're talking about a 50% move to the upside, rather 100% move to the upside is definitely in the cards, and I could definitely see a run towards 250 in the not too distant future, just as we're consolidating above the 61 level and right below that 69 level. So guys, this is it for the time being. There are a lot of great opportunities in the precious metal space. Make sure you do your due diligence on these names. Look for the names that don't have the debt, and those are the names that are going to perform the best under these circumstances. Look for the names that have been beaten down and are highly leveraged with optionality towards gold and silver. I think those are the names that are going to perform best, and we've covered those names in the past. And I appreciate your feedback, and that's it. Have a great week. All the best.